On today's episode of The Unwritten Rule, we finally did the Mount Rushmore of former future Missouri Tigers. We explain what the term means before we do it. We have some stuff that we're going to talk about on Friday. We have a big interview coming Friday where we're going to dive into a bunch more fall camp stuff. So we thought we really wanted to do this Mount Rushmore for you guys. Wanted to get y'all involved here. Who are some of your favorite former future Missouri Tigers, guys on the recruiting trail transfer portal that Missouri missed out on that ended up being great, kind of looking at those players. It was a fun Mount Rushmore. So definitely listen to that. I had a quick update on Phillip Roche as well. And then finished with quick hits, did a good quiz, talked some Tigers in the pros, did a couple of headlines, talked some Olympics, all that stuff. So a good show. But yeah, we wanted to get that Mount Rushmore out to you guys just because we thought it would be fun. Give you guys a chance to say who you remember the famous Mizzou recruiting battles that the Tigers ended up coming up short for some maybe big name targets in the past. Just thought it would be fun to relook at what could have been for some Mizzou athletes. So Mount Rushmore, definitely tune into that. We'll have a good show on Friday. But for this show on Monday, the Unwritten Rule starts right now.
Marcel, where are you going with that disc? You are not putting that on again. Marcel, okay, if you press that button, you are in very, very big trouble.
Attention. Everybody stop what you're doing. It's time for The Unwritten Rule, a Mizzou sports podcast brought to you by the Believe Network, alongside Payton Haverman and Kenny Van Doren. Here is your host, Jack Knowlton.
Welcome back to The Unwritten Rule. Today is Monday, August 5th, and it is finally that time. We are going to do the former future Tiger Mount Rushmore. We have, I think, teased it several times in previous episodes. We finally had some time with a little bit of a slower news dump. We are going to get to some stuff that Mizzou players have said at fall camp early on. I have a thing planned for next show on Friday. So stay tuned for that. But we really want to do this Mount Rushmore for you guys. We want people to put down in the comments their favorite, I guess not recruiting misses. That's a bad way to put it. But, guys that we all pictured in Mizzou uniforms and all that stuff. So we're going to get to that in a second. But before we do that, we have a quick update on Phillip Roche. We wanted to touch on that with his situation. Eli Drinkwitz saying to the media a couple days ago there won't be a suspension for him for incurring some legal stuff off the field with the reckless driving charge and all that and the speeding. He is not facing any suspension. They're going to handle it internally. Payton, Kenny, any quick thoughts on that?
I was pretty surprised by this. I'm not going to lie. Not because I think Phillip Roche should be in a heap of trouble. I think he's a very young guy who made a mistake. But the thing about it is it wasn't just one offense. I mean, it was multiple instances of driving 45 over, and it was missing a court date. Like that's multiple things. I would have thought that at least called for, hey, you're not going to play against Murray State. But I mean, hey, I trust Drinkwitz to handle it. Clearly they don't think it's going to be an issue anymore. I don't think if it was if they weren't going to really bring the hammer down on him. Internal discipline, we'll see what that means. I can't even begin to really speculate what that could mean for them. I know Drinkwitz did talk about how he didn't live up to the standard that the program set. But again, I'm very, very surprised it didn't come with at least a you're not playing against Murray State kind of punishment.
I don't think we're going to learn what the internal discipline is. I think it's just going to be something that they kind of make an example with their own players behind closed doors, and they'll just kind of move on from it. And I think it's well said, Payton, really nothing else to add. He's probably going to see a good amount of snaps early on this season. So if they know that this won't be an issue moving forward, just get back on the field, get back to the development and see what he can kind of provide you at the safety position.
Yeah, I think you guys both said it well. I guess, from a depth perspective, if you want to look at it that way, you can look at it as good news that he isn't suspended. I mean, everyone's allowed to have their own opinion on what happened there, but Mizzou has made its decision. So Phillip Roche will not be suspended for some off the field stuff. He will play in every game he can. So, yeah, there's an update on one storyline for Mizzou in fall camp. We're going to have more, like I said, on Friday's show. We're going to get back into the swing of things. But Payton, Kenny, I know all three of us really wanted to do this around Mount Rushmore. We'd been talking about this for a while. We had a series of shows. It was the off season. We were all traveling, doing different things. And then last show, we had a bunch of news we wanted to talk about. Didn't have time to really, dedicate, give the attention to the former future Tigers Mount Rushmore that we wanted to give. Shall we get into it, gentlemen? I should explain the term, I guess, probably to start. So, former future Missouri Tigers. I've taken credit for coining it. I don't know if it was actually me. There's some maybe lost history there. Feel free to correct me, Payton and Kenny, on if I'm.
I definitely said it before you, but I don't really.
Yeah,
right,
me too. I said it before Payton. So I think it was me.
Okay, Kenny coined it. There you go. Well, whoever coined it.
You were last is basically all I'm going to say.
Yeah, that's fine.
It was like I said it, and then Payton said it a couple seconds later, and then a couple years went by, and you said it.
And then I said it. All right. It just means basically, we're essentially, it might seem like actually kind of a sad draft because we're going to look at guys who were close to joining Mizzou and didn't end up coming there. But I think it's a fun walk down hypothetical lane, if you will, to look at some of these players that could have ended up in a Mizzou uniform. Boys, any thoughts before we spin the wheel for who goes first?
We can't do entire classes, right? Like I can't say the 2023 Mizzou basketball portal class, right? I can't say Matthew Cleveland, Caden Shedrick, and Caleb Love all bunched into one. Okay, then. That's the only clarification I need. Let's get it going.
All right.
And, before, I know we're going to get some people that might be a little bit older than us, and they're going to have like a lot of cooler names. Just so you know, like we were all born 2000.
Yeah, these are going to be modern.
So it's going to be very modern.
I've got some names from the 90s. Okay, I've got a couple. I've perused Power Mizzou. I've done my research. I feel good about my list.
That was part of why we wanted to do this. Put in the comments if you're watching on the YouTube. You can comment on Spotify too now if you're listening on there. I want to see what other people put your favorite former future Missouri Tigers. If you're older, if you had a recruiting battle you remember watching as a kid and you're really sad Mizzou didn't get whoever, we're not going to have them all. Obviously, we can only each draft 4 people, so we obviously won't have them all. But
I'll have few.
Let's run through at the end who we didn't put that we still have on the list, just to hammer them all out. All right, Kenny, enough talk. Spin the wheel. Wheel noise,
baby. I need this. No.
Bang.
All right. Jack is going first.
Yeah. All right. I am going first. So I had a name I was going to lead with.
I guess probably sucks to go second. Okay.
Yeah, Kenny. Yeah,
we got the order.
You don't get the turn. And we do snake, right? So Payton will have 2. Yeah,
correct.
Yeah, that's how
I'm glad I actually have last here if I can't have first. Actually, I think it's probably better to have last, period.
I agree.
So I had a name I wanted to go with off the bat, but then I did some more thinking, and I have a different name. I'm going to select the number 1 draft selection, and this name came to us in the form of breaking news from none other than the Chancellor himself. Give me Rick Pitino as the number 1 pick. Former future.
Oh, wow,
Tiger.
A coach.
I didn't even think of that.
Coming out of the woodwork.
Oh my
god! If we're doing coaches, that could open a can of worms.
They're all Tigers.
Yeah, I mean, you could think back to when Drinkwitz was hired. Jim Sturk had 3 names on that list that the board of curators said, "Ew, that's disgusting. Do something else."
Yep.
That's a good one, Nolan. I like that.
That is, oh my gosh, you just opened up so many different doors for that as well.
I was kind of hoping I thought of it literally today. I was like, wait,
Matt Painter is on the board now.
He certainly is.
A legitimate thing. For those that don't know the story, Kenny, Jack, and I, back in our KCOU radio days, had Moon Choi, the president of the UM system and chancellor of Mizzou. Listen. He was on the show. And afterwards, it went so well, he offered to get us lunch. And he just was talking ball with us, and he randomly dropped Like, this was when everybody knew when Konzo was getting fired. It was the last year of Konzo. He just randomly brought up, oh, that coach at Iona, which at the time was Rick Pitino. He's really good, isn't it? I could not, like, I swear to God, was going to explode in my chair. I was so excited. That was like literally like a what did you just say moment. But yeah, no, that's a great pick, Knowlton.
That's a good
love
pick.
that pick.
Thank you. Yeah, I thought of it today. I was like, that could open up some doors. So maybe that gives you guys some more names to think of. Yeah, Rick Pitino. It is our favorite. It is the only time we've ever had anywhere close to breaking news on this show. But gotta celebrate our wins.
And we brought up Bronny on the last show too. So that was another name he dropped on us. Why don't you just offer Bronny?
Yeah,
okay.
we did ask him that. We should have pushed harder. We should have become.
No, he asked us that.
Yeah, he asked us
right,
about
Bronny.
Bronny.
That's right.
Yeah.
He asked us about Bronny. We should have pushed harder. We should have became recruiting coordinators for basketball.
No kidding. Yeah, gotten GA positions. All right, Kenny, who are you thinking?
Okay. My first one, I want to go football here. There's a couple like names that were kind of going through my head. I feel like Zeke has to come off the board at some point just because he is a big deal. But this one will always feel like the worst like miss I think ever, considering what he kind of accomplished at LSU. And I'm just going to put Jaden. I have Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean,
I know it's chalk, but that's just a one that was a big miss.
No, absolutely. I think this has to be a pick. I mean, that was literally he was on my board for 1-1 here, or 1-3. That whole I remember where we were sitting when we saw like the Mizzou fan club tweet about Jaden Daniels signing. We were like, is Mizzou fan club a legit dude? Because of course Jaden Daniels did sign like the like whatever it was, the letter of intent or something, but transfers can sign that with anyone and get out of it as long as they don't enroll there. So that's kind of what happened with him. And look, I think we're all very happy and very pleased with what Brady Cook has turned into. Jaden Daniels just won the Heisman, man. I mean, like, it's not a stretch to say with Jaden Daniels at QB last year, again, not taking anything away from Brady Cook, he's absolutely good enough to take Mizzou to where they want to go. There's a good chance Mizzou is playing for a national title with Jaden Daniels. I don't think that's much of an exaggeration, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm also going to go chalk with my first pick. Zeke is like the bona fide number one. Like when you think Mizzou recruiting misses, Ezekiel Elliott almost always comes up. He's of course from the St. Louis area. His parents had Mizzou connections, obviously.
Played sports at Mizzou.
Yeah, I think didn't his mom run track at Mizzou?
Correct.
Something like that. But Mizzou kind of like I've always heard conflicting stories. I remember Pete Bland, our old sports editor at the Columbia Missourian, got into it once during our sports journalism class about how Mizzou just kind of dragged their feet to offer him. He did wind up getting on campus before he committed to Ohio State, but it's probably a bit too late at that point. That's a big what could have been because, I mean, Mizzou had some dark times after Ezekiel Elliott committed to Ohio State. You wonder almost if Ezekiel Elliott could have maybe reversed that trend.
Yeah, that's a good point.
My second pick, Knowlton already kind of opened the basketball door. There's a ton of unbelievable basketball names that have not come to Mizzou. We've discussed this before. I can't decide which one I want. I mean, there was one that visited with Michael Porter Jr. There's one that won a national title at UNC. There's one that is still in the NBA today. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go with Tyler Hansbrough. That's one that I know Gabe DeArmond, whenever the topic of big recruiting misses comes up on Power Mizzou, that's one Gabe DeArmond points out a lot. He's from the St. Louis area. Quinn Snyder was the head coach, I believe, that would have recruited Tyler Hansbrough. And if you look back in Mizzou's like historic classes, Quinn Snyder was pulling in epic recruits at Mizzou, like recruiting at a level no coach had before, which basically meant that Norm Stewart hadn't done. But just couldn't bring in Tyler Hansbrough. Tyler Hansbrough, of course, one of the most notorious college basketball players from the mid 2000s, maybe of all time. Won a national title at UNC. Could have been a Missouri Tiger though.
One of the best nicknames in basketball too.
What is it?
Do you know what his nickname was?
I don't think I do.
Psycho T.
I did know that
I
actually.
believe was his nickname.
And he's from Columbia too.
Yep.
He was born in Columbia.
Yeah. Tough
Shout
one.
out.
I believe he went to high school like in the St. Louis area, didn't he?
He went to Poplar Bluff.
Poplar Bluff.
Okay.
All right, Kenny. Yeah, you're
This is a tough one, a really tough one, because I'm pocketing someone for my third pick because I know Jack is not going to take this person. So I'm getting some value here, maybe saving some money for that round 3 pick. Oh, I want to go basketball, and I want it to be like weird here. I'm gonna go Josh Christopher, and I know it didn't really like play out, for him after he chose Arizona State. But Josh Christopher, that's one I remember. Like that's one of the first recruiting like misses that I remember when I was at Mizzou. So I think that's just one I have to go with.
Yeah.
He was one of 2 guards Mizzou missed on that cycle.
I think that like we all have those players, Kenny, that like they just are the first that pop in our minds when we think of this from our time in school. I feel like for you that's Josh Christopher.
And to make it better, he played for the Houston Rockets. That also didn't work out for him, but there's a lot of ties there for Josh Christopher, so I wanted to pick him up here.
He's been like not great either. Like, yeah, I don't think he's really.
He was a G League champion though in 2022. I'm looking at his Wikipedia now.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's good. All right. I mean, like Payton went with the Mr. Obvious in football. I feel like I got to pick the brightest star, at least Missouri native wise, in basketball, currently playing in the NBA, who, Kim Anderson tried his best. I got to go Jason Tatum. Of course, pick Duke. I saw a headline, Payton, you might have done more research on like his finalists or whatever specifically. So if you know more, feel free to weigh in. But I saw a headline that just said Mizzou inconsistency plays factor in Tatum's decision. So
yep, he had SLU in his final group. I don't even know if Mizzou wound up making his final group, to be honest.
You know what? I'm sure they were an early offer. So yeah. I think it still counts.
You look at some of the talent that came from Missouri basketball wise, like in the mid 2010s, you just realize like how much Kim Anderson hurt the university. It is like there was Xavier Sneed, who went on to be a G League player for a few years. I believe he still plays professionally. He went to Kansas State and was a great player there. And these aren't even big guys I'm thinking of. OG Anunoby wasn't a highly rated recruit, but he was in Mizzou's backyard, and he went to Wichita State. You had Cook come through there. I mean, a couple other guys that might get picked in this draft were in this time frame. I mean, it was the damage Kim Anderson's recruiting did to Missouri cannot be undersold at all. I mean, it was a disaster.
So with that, I think because Kenny, you've inspired me a little bit, and I think there's more fun names on my board, but I'm going to also pick the guy who, for me, embodies the former future Missouri Tiger motto or whatever term for myself from our time in school. Not only a one-time former future Missouri Tiger, but a 2-time former future Missouri Tiger. I got to go Caleb Love. Caleb Love picked North Carolina over Mizzou the first time, goes to a national championship with the Tar Heels, plays kind of bad, or at least took a couple bad shots in said Final Four national championship, helped kill Mike Krzyzewski. So there was that. And then entered the transfer portal, was again heavily linked to Mizzou. I think some people saw through the ruse pretty early. Other people believed. He goes to Arizona and spurns the Tigers again. St. Louis kid. I remember being at, this is a little bit of a deep cut for those who know the mid-Missouri area. I remember working at KOMU as a freshman sports digital producer and having to write the commitment story when he picked North Carolina, and everyone was really sad. So I'll pick.
Yeah, I'm with you on the Caleb Love one. I do remember where we were for the Josh Christopher one. We were all in like the RJI forum for some reason. And then we all got the tweet that Josh Christopher committed to Arizona State. But I do remember Caleb Love being the first one where it's like, oh, like he's taken the visit to Missouri. You know, he's got the graphic with Missouri in it, because we were all, none of us knew how recruiting worked at the time. We were all like, he's going to come to Missouri because we're bright-eyed freshmen. And like, look, he's got Missouri. He's from St. Louis. Of course, he was never going to Missouri. The transfer one is, I think, kind of what hurts a little more, because like that was like really kind of like almost borderline. Everyone expected it to happen, and just for whatever reason, it broke down. He tried to go to Michigan, couldn't get into Michigan, and just turned into a whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you was it him that was like someone reported that he was at like dinner?
A
with
dinner
Dennis
with
Gates?
Yes,
Dennis
dinner,
Gates,
and
which during a
that just,
dead
like,
period, which was not allowed.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it just like wasn't true. I remember
Yeah.
that. Yeah, brutal.
Good pick. Yeah, that's
Um,
another one that comes
thank
to
you,
my
thank you.
mind too from that 2019 year. So this one, for my third pick, this is when I was pocketing, and you opened the door to it when you took Rick Pitino. And I want to know, like, first of all, if this counts, because he did actually go to Mizzou, but then Mizzou didn't hire him as a coach later on, and that's Tony Vitello. And I feel like he should count for this because, I mean,
That would count in my
he-
book.
he played. I know he played baseball at Mizzou, but this is like totally based on his coaching career. I could put in parentheses coach. Like, just
I actually
where it just-
kind of think I kind of like that for the sake of the
Okay.
graphic, just as coach, because I feel like
Yeah.
also, yeah, I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you as the as coach,
Because it
fair.
came down to him and Beezer, and they went with Beezer, I believe, is what the story is there.
Yep.
You were going to type crap.
CPA.
No, I think
CPA.
that one is allowed.
Okay,
And
cool.
obviously,
It's a good one.
yeah, and obviously he just won the national title. So,
Yeah.
and he won it over a team whose coach left for another in-state job, which is interesting. But
What a wild saga. Do we ever talk about that on this show?
We did.
What a wild
think we
saga
did,
that
yeah.
was. Crazy stuff with A&M baseball. Nice pick, Kenny. All right, Peyton.
Thank you.
You're your last two.
yeah, I'm torn because I could go a lot of different ways here. I know what one of my picks is going to be. It's going to be my fourth pick, because I don't know how many people know this one. But I mean, you got a ton. There's so many blue chip basketball guys.
I want to swap Jason Tatum already for a different guy. But
I'm not going to take him. There's another running back I could take that is from the and it would hurt Knowlton because he's a Badger, or was a Badger. I'm torn. I'm gonna go a little bit. No, I'm gonna go Monty Ball. Monty Ball. He's from the St. Louis area. I don't know if you knew this, Knowlton. He had Mizzou interest. He went to high school in Wentzville, which is a suburb of St. Louis, for those that don't know. I'm sure everyone listening does. He apparently was close to being a Missouri Tiger, so that'll be my third pick. And the fourth one, and this one is ripped straight from me just looking through Power Mizzou, like whisper threads almost. Like I almost don't believe this happened. But the crown jewel of the Fab Five himself, Chris Webber, apparently took a visit to Mizzou with Jalen Rose. Mizzou was apparently very well connected in the Detroit area back in the 90s. So they had Chris Webber on campus, allegedly. This is according to Power Mizzou people. Like, not Gabe and them, but like Power Mizzou users. That, like, one guy straight up said, I swear to you, I saw Chris Webber and Jalen Rose at Harpo's. Like, that is what this guy said. So,
Wow.
I hope whoever posted that sees this. I would like them to elaborate on that story, please, in the comments.
Dude, Chris Webber and Jalen Rose wearing a different block M. I don't even, like, that is such a, like, Missouri would have had the number 1 overall pick in basketball, is what that means.
Yep.
And of course, they would have had a guy that forgot how many timeouts there were as well. But
It wasn't
Also,
his
that
fault.
means my favorite like ESPN films ever, the Fab Five, would never have been made, which kind of sucks. But I think I probably would have traded that.
The
for
Fab.
Fab 2.
What would they?
Yeah.
What would the Mizzou? What would the alliteration be there?
They would not get one after finishing like 5th in the
Yeah,
Big
Missouri would have
Big
like
Eight.
gotten
Big
a
Eight.
7 seed and been bounced by like Tulane, and that would have been it.
Oh, Mizzou.
So that's my class: Ezekiel Elliott, Tyler Hansbrough, Monty Ball, and Chris Webber.
I just, before you make your pick, Kenny, I did not know that about Monty Ball, Payton.
Yeah,
So that's fun. Yeah, on the subject too. I mean, Monty Ball was great. Ezekiel Elliott, like, I wish he would have gone to Mizzou for the sake of my childhood growing up a Wisconsin fan, because he absolutely embarrassed them multiple
You didn't like
times,
losing
including in the 59 to
59-0?
nothing. No, I did not like that. I did not enjoy that. I was thinking about that today. Actually, it's still a little bit haunts, but what could have been. All right, Kenny, I've cut you off too long. What's your last one?
No, yeah, I wanted to do a baseball player. This is like really the only one that really
did
comes to
one.
mind, and so I'm gonna go with Devin Williams. He's had an interesting MLB career, of course. He does have some accolades. He's also just had some really weird injuries. But to have said that he went to Mizzou would have been really cool. But he'll always just be a former future Missouri Tiger.
Well, he's committed, right?
Yeah, he signed. But yeah, he was from Hazelwood, Missouri. Went to Hazelwood West High School.
Nice.
Yeah, no, that was the only baseball player I could think of. And the other one was Isaiah Green, and he has not even made it to Double-A. So that's a good one.
I do enjoy saying, whenever he plays well with the Brewers, as a Brewers fan, saying to my friends, that guy was a Mizzou commit. That is a nice little brag to have when he's healthy. All right, my last pick. I could do like a fun recent one, but I'm gonna go. I think I'm just gonna go with another basketball stud to finish it out. I'm gonna go with the son of a Mizzou legend and a almost NBA champion with the Phoenix Suns. Devin Booker is my final pick.
He was on my board.
Yep. Picked Kentucky.
Oh, basketball clean sweep for Knowlton.
I'm looking at a I really go to basketball with these former, I like the recruiting battles in basketball. I'm looking at a Columbia Tribune article from November 1st, 2013. Devin Booker picks Kentucky over Missouri. He's from Mississippi, but of course his father, Melvin, played for the Tigers. Frank Haith was at Mizzou at the time. Booker, of course, in that lone freshman season with Kentucky, was undefeated before they lost to Wisconsin in the Final Four. Then he went to the draft.
Oh, man. I mean, like, the 2010s are just, like, that is so depressing how many misses Missouri had. I mean, like, just, like, and it's not even just the misses on, like, Devin Booker. Like, how do you not recruit OG Anunoby? Like, what in the world is the thought process of that?
Yeah, it is. I mean, hey, now we got Dennis, the recruiting maestro himself.
Yeah.
On my board, I still had Ryan Wingo. I threw him on there.
I thought about him.
I thought maybe I'd do that for fun. Kevin Knox, Mr.
Had him on
Fortnite
my
suit,
board.
Mr. Fortnite suit himself. Bradley Beal, St. Louis guy,
On my board.
Another one I wanted to do just for fun. Jerry Bohannon, shout out.
Yep, he was on
JT
mine.
Daniels.
Saw him at a
both
softball
of them.
game.
Mhm.
Jamarian Sharp, another
Yup,
two-time.
was
former
on my
future
board.
Missouri
I
Tiger.
thought about it.
And then Kenny had this one right before we started recording, but Brandon Rush apparently almost went to. Peyton, you said that.
I had that, but same difference. On my board remaining that we didn't mention was Adrian Claiborne, Otto Porter. When you said Rick Pitino, I instantly added Matt Painter to my board. I did not write them down, but like Caden Shedrick and Matthew Cleveland were on my thing as well.
Nice.
Yeah, you guys knocked off, all the guys I had as well. Beal was also on mine too. I know you had him as well, Payton.
Yeah, I did.
Shout out Bradley Beal. There you go.
Not really. He didn't come to Missouri.
Well, yeah. Florida, yeah. And now he's going to be the last player in NBA history to have a no trade clause in his contract. Probably.
Is that really not a thing?
I mean, it's not going to be after what happened with Bradley Beal. The Wizards got fleeced because he could just control where he went, and he wasn't a free agent.
Very good in Phoenix, at least.
Yeah, but there's not going to be any more no trade clauses because of Bradley Beal. There you go. Who had the best draft? If you're looking on the YouTube, you can see all our things. Maybe we could tweet it out as well for people.
Read through them as well for people listening.
Oh, yes. All right. So I finished out. I went all basketball. Call me boring. I was going to take Devin Williams possibly if Kenny didn't draft him, but I'm not mad I missed him. I took Rick Pitino, Jason Tatum, Caleb Love, Devin Booker. I would probably swap Tatum if I had to pick one to replace, just because I don't ultimately know how linked to Mizzou he was, aside from just being a Missouri native. But I like my other picks. Kenny had Jaden Daniels, Josh Christopher, Tony Vitello, and Devin Williams. Kenny's, which one, if you wanted to swap one, would you swap, or are you happy with your?
I mean, I like all of them. If I had to swap one, maybe Josh Christopher or Devin Williams. But I kind of like who I have.
And then Payton, Ezekiel Elliott, Tyler Hansborough, Monty Ball, Chris Webber. Payton, I like Payton's team. I think if we do, should we do a poll? Should we?
Yeah, I'll do a poll underneath it.
We'll
drop
do
one.
a poll.
Yeah.
I think Payton might win.
I think my team's pretty strong. Hands down, if I had to swap one, it'd be Monty Ball, because I think my other three are just great. Obviously, you have to have Zeke. Hansborough's a big one. And Webber, I mean, my jaw hit the floor when I was reading up and saw that Chris Webber allegedly visited.
The lore on Chris Webber.
Yeah.
Payton was just deep in the
I want to interview Norm
Zoo.
Stewart and ask him about this. Like, if I was ever in a room and had 3 questions to ask Norm Stewart, one of them would be, what the hell did you actually have Chris Webber on campus?
Nice. Yeah, there you go. We'll post the draft. Hopefully this triggers. Please, I don't know, if you see the tweet, reply to the tweet. If you have any good names, I kind of want to see who other people come out with, especially other Missouri natives. Obviously, the 3 of us coming from out of state. I know Peyton, I guess you spent some time in Missouri, but 3 of us coming from out of state don't know in-state recruiting as well. But I'm sure other people will have some nice deep cuts. So I'd love to see who else you come up with. There you go. There's a Mount Rushmore. This is also making me think we should do at some point a Mount Rushmore just of Missouri natives, maybe sports or otherwise, in just culture. Because we were talking about all these guys from Missouri. I was like, I want to draft Eminem on my team. That's one of my favorite facts, that he was born in Missouri. Probably decent at some sports in his day. All right. There you go. There's the Mount Rushmore. We will wrap up the show. Like we said, we're going to have more Mizzou stuff on Friday, and a big interview coming as well for you guys. So we'll stay tuned for that. But for the rest of this show, we'll finish it with quick hits. Okay, quick hits time. We have Ken Sports Shorts, which Kenny's not doing the. You're not doing. Why am I blanking on the website? Sporkle, but instead you're deferring to another quiz game for us again this week. What do we got?
Yeah, this is a Daily Dozen Trivia. We've done this at least once on the show. I didn't really have any fun trivia notes that I picked up this week, so I thought this would be a good one. And I'll read the questions out because not everyone will be able to see the questions. So please let me read it and then answer it. But it is time.
Payton.
Won't matter too much.
Northern Illinois, go Daddy Bowl.
There is a celebrity mashup one, so the people on the YouTube will get to see that. Sorry to those that are listening and have us describing some that we probably don't know. But we'll start off with the NFL one. Along with rushing for over 8,000 yards with the Cowboys, Vikings, Giants, and Eagles from 1986 to 1997, this NFL running back was also a member of the U.S. bobsled team at the 1992 Winter Olympics.
Whoa.
Huh. Well, Herschel Walker was a Cowboy and a Viking, but he probably had way more than 8,000 yards.
8,000 yards. Yeah, so that's
I don't know. This is kind of
that's not that much in that span of time, right? Because that's
especially in this era of the NFL. This is kind of
years.
I don't think this is a big name.
This is a bum.
We'll skip.
Yeah, let's come back to it.
NBA. Rajon Rondo led the NBA with 11.7 assists per game during his lone season with this Pacific Division team in 2015 to 2016.
This is the Lakers, right?
Mavericks weren't a Pacific
Wrong.
team.
Oh,
were
was
they?
it the? Wait, I should have thought.
Thanks,
about that.
Knowlton. Moving
Wait,
on.
back to that.
Oh,
We can do a second
a
guess later.
lifeline. Okay.
Six-time Olympic medalist, this woman captained the U.S. women's gymnastics team from 2012 and 2016.
If it's not Simone Biles, I don't know any other names for this.
It's not Simone.
Yeah,
Oh,
I believe this is Gabby Douglas. Is that right?
ooh, Kenny.
Oh, it is not.
Oh, wrong.
wow, we're off
Okay.
to a hot start.
Yeah, this is terrible.
Books released as a novel in 1951.
Christ.
Oh yeah, we're not gonna get this one.
Skip. We don't
for
wait.
those that are-
J.D. Salinger? I know Salinger.
No,
Holden
I'm a big
Caulfield
fan of Catcher in the
Such
Rye.
a liar.
was the
No, this
teenage
is
main.
Catcher in the Rye.
Okay, you want me to put that?
Yes, because it's Catcher in the Rye.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, there you go, Payton.
We didn't even read the full thing, but released as a novel in 1951, Holden Caulfield was a teenage main character of this story from author J.D. Salinger. Oh, good. Good on
Y'all
you.
never read Catcher
Okay.
in the Rye?
Hey, this is James Franco and the guy from the Jersey Shore, right?
Yeah, he's been sick recently.
No. Does it say Francisco Franco? Is that an
No,
option?
no, very different person. Oh my God, that is an option. What
You
the
can pick him.
Who's the
It's Pauly D.
Pauly D?
Glad
DJ
you guys
Pauly D.
know this stuff.
Went to Mizzou. For
Nice.
his DJ set. at
Wow,
Mizzou.
look at that.
Chain restaurants. While Mountain Dew Baja Blast is supposed to be exclusive to Taco Bell, in 2019, Mountain Dew introduced Sweet Lightning, a flavor meant to be exclusive to what fast food chain?
Sweet. I've never heard of the sweet.
I feel
Pizza
like
Hut?
I've heard of this, but like
Pizza would make sense.
Pizza Hut.
Another yum
That's
brand.
your
Well, I'm
guess.
trying to. Well, I mean, Taco Bell is affiliated with Pizza Hut. So that's why.
Oh, you know what? You're right.
Oh yeah, I think he's on the right track there.
I
Did you
meant
guess
a
it?
combination Taco Bell and Pizza Hut.
Nope, wrong. Okay.
No.
Set between a fantasy world and a main town, Snow White and Prince Charming were characters in this ABC series from 2011 to 2018.
Oh my god.
Oh, I've seen this show.
I
Yeah,
don't remember what it's
yeah.
called, but it's a very famous, popular show.
Oh golly.
It's not Enchanted, is it? No.
No,
No,
isn't
it's
that a
not
movie?
Enchanted. Oh, I know because like Rumpelstiltskin is in this show and he's like a psychopath.
I always thought he was scary.
Yeah, I mean, oh god.
Come back to it,
I
come back
definitely
to it.
know this show, but I like it's got some like
And he's typing in a guess.
Isn't it just this?
I think
Oh,
you're
Once Upon a
right.
Time. Yeah, I think you're
I
right.
think you're correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
Um,
nice, Kenny.
Megan Fox had a role in this 2012 romantic comedy and sort of sequel to Knocked Up, starring Paul Rudd and Leslie Mann.
Is this the one where she's like a vampire?
Oh, romantic dramedy, not even
well,
comedy.
Knocked Up is like that's like the Seth Rogen. I
Transformers.
forget who the woman is. Transformers. I don't know.
I don't know. I
have
feel like I
no
should know
idea.
this.
Have you seen Knocked Up?
Yeah, I don't know what the other show would be.
sequel
Or other
would be?
movie.
I
Okay,
don't know.
music. Let Me Hear Your Body Talk is a recurring lyric from this Olivia Newton-John song that
Oh my-
charted #1 on the end of year Billboard's Hot 100 of 1982.
Oh no.
We probably have some people
I
that know
can
it.
picture the like I can hear the lyric.
I can't. So
All right, I'm gonna end it. Is that good?
Wait,
Yeah.
can we do the NBA one again?
I have to do it after I end it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we give up. I want to guess
Oh.
the NBA.
I guess it doesn't give you a new one.
Oh, wait. I want to think about that. Did he do it? Because Rondo hasn't been on the Clippers. Because his whole thing was he had beef with Chris Paul. So it wasn't the Clippers.
the only like West team I can picture him with. No, because he was on the Lakers later than that, I remember.
Do the ones we just didn't answer.
Yeah, do the NFL one.
It was
was
Herschel
Herschel.
Walker.
Oh, it was Herschel.
We should have guessed him.
Herschel only had 8,000
Oh, this is
yards.
40. I've seen that movie.
Never seen This Is 40.
Think Physical. Oh my God. Let's
Really
get physical.
would
Yeah.
never have gotten that.
Damn it. I should've
KFC
got
is another one that's associated with Taco Bell.
Oh, we
my
should have. I'm at the
gosh.
combination
Wow.
KFC, Taco Bell, and Pizza
We
Hut.
fumbled this big time.
The Olympics, Allie Raceman.
Allie
Okay,
Raceman, that's
should have
right.
known that.
Yeah.
I think
I'm
Gabby
not an
Douglas
Olympics
was
guy.
just on the 2012 team, or if she
Oh
was
my
in
God,
2016.
the Kings.
Yeah.
That was going to be my second
Oh
guess.
yeah, I think he went there after the Mavericks.
Yeah. He was like really good for that.
That was good.
1 year, yeah.
Now we
did
know
Oh,
more.
was it? That wasn't very
We
good.
got 3 correct. We did 3 no guess and 3 incorrect.
Did each one of us kind of get one there?
So we got 30.
Like Knowlton kind of
Yeah.
carried the celebrity. Kenny got the TV. I got the book.
We
did
all
well.
got one wrong.
We did well
Yeah.
in all of the ones that
I
weren't
guess I got 2
sports,
wrong.
too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right. Nice.
That's good.
Good job, Kenny. All right, moving on. We have Tigers in the Wild. Kenny.
My Tiger in the Wild goes to Kameron Misner, who made his major league debut on Friday. I was at this game. Pretty ridiculous first at bat in the major leagues. He's a left-handed hitter. 2 outs, runner on first base. I mean, a home run gives them the lead. I mean, a double probably scores that runner, so there's an opportunity there for him to tie the game in his first at bat. But he has to face Josh Hader, who's been one of the most dominant lefty relievers in all of baseball in the last decade. And I just thought that was kind of a crazy first run in the major leagues. He started for his first time on Sunday. Did not get a hit in his first 2 at bats and was pulled from the game. But congrats to Kameron Misner for being a major leaguer. Finally happened.
Look, man, you get the trial by fire. Some of these guys, the Rays are in evaluation mode. Put them in and see what happens. No, good for Kameron Misner. We've talked about him about 1,000 times in this segment now, because he's been doing pretty well at AAA. So it's good that he finally got his shot.
He's from Poplar Bluff, too. Shout out Tyler Hansbrough. All right, Payton.
My Tiger in the Wild is going to be Markus Golden, the former Missouri edge rusher who was a round 2 pick way back in 2015. He re-signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers this past week. He said, I was reading a little bit before, he said he was feeling a little bit retired because he wasn't sure why the Steelers weren't re-signing him or why it took so long, but he's back on the field now. He'll be back for he's coming up on 10 years in the league. 15, 16, 17, 18,
like 9
or 10. So I'm not going to count all of them, but
well, you just
yeah, sure. That subtract 1.
Just
there you go. He's back in the Wild. You can consider him a main bird too if you want.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah. Wait. Okay. Is it 11 or 9? Am I doing that math?
It's going to be his 12th season.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you subtract 1.
11th season. Yeah, okay. Numbers are hard.
Numbers are hard. All right. My Tiger in the Wild stay in the NFL. For my Tiger in the Wild, I'm doing Ennis Rakestraw.
I don't have that tweet up. I don't know what happened to it.
You put in Markus Golden stats for Ennis Rakestraw.
Whoopsie.
Ennis Rakestraw has morphed into Markus Golden. All right. It was just because I believe he got his 3rd pick, I think, in training camp for the Detroit Lions. Of course, one of 2 corners that they picked along with Terry Arnold in the first round. So obviously it's a pretty competitive young CB room. And it was on Hendon Hooker. Look at that. Mizzou continuing to torment Tennessee. Love to see
if only that was the case in 2022.
It would have made no difference. That game was horrible.
Yeah.
That game was horrible. But shout out to Ennis Rakestraw.
Yeah, very interesting to see he's getting all these turnovers because he was not the turnover guy at Missouri. I mean, he was just kind of the take away side of the field and let Chris Abrams-Drain get all the ball hawk opportunities. So really cool to see that from him. I'm sure being a rookie that's a little bit undersized for an outside cornerback, he's going to be someone that's going to get targeted a fair amount of times. So good to see that he's answering the bell so far.
I mean, no one targeted him. Yeah, that's exactly how it is. And now people are actually going to start targeting him. And then they'll figure out maybe they shouldn't be targeting him. So he'll just go back to his old ways. No more turnovers for Ennis Rakestraw.
That's what they call a vicious cycle, I believe. Good term. Yeah, there you go. Ennis Rakestraw intercepting picks. All right. We'll finish up with headlines. Kenny, Yeah, I was curious about that Twitter account too. Go to the
Matt
YouTube.
Stafford.
This is why you watch on the YouTube. Kenny, headline.
My headline comes from the Columbia Missourian, pulled from the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. Former Mizzou star Karissa Schweizer reaches Olympics 5,000 meter final. We brought her up a couple times.
Track Kenny.
Track Kenny. No big deal. I finished first in the JV district meet for cross country when I was a junior.
Not
no biggie. Yeah, it's the same thing. Running is running. But congrats to Karissa Schweizer. She got out of her qualifying heat in the 5K on Friday, and she's advanced to the next round, which is on Monday. And for all that we know, she is like the only
she's the only American.
Huh?
Mizzou. She's the only American Mizzou.
From what we know. Exactly. Yeah. So congrats to her. Rooting her on. Keep going.
Yeah. The finals on, I think it says in there, 2:10 p.m. on Monday. So when you're listening to this, possibly she might be running in the final. So yeah, congrats to Karissa Schweizer. Payton?
MIZ. My headline is going to be Noah Lyles wins gold for U.S. in 100 meter by 0.005 of a second. 5,000ths. Try saying that 5 times fast of a second. Noah Lyles, who is he's a hot topic on Twitter, of course, because of the thing he said about
champion of what?
Champion of what? The old world champions of the NBA debate. But he kind of walked the walk. He got a gold medal in a very, very, very competitive heat. I don't think that's the proper term of heat. Kenny can correct me if I'm wrong because he ran track cross country. But he beat. He didn't even think he won at first. Keishane Thompson of Jamaica thought he won it first because it was that close. But on the photo finish, I mean, it was clear Lyles had his chest across by just enough. It's kind of incredible because the fourth place guy was literally half of his head was behind Lyles. That's how close this was. And he didn't even wind up medaling. So just a really incredible race. Lyles, I saw that the U.S. Men's basketball team was in attendance for this. I don't know if that was just because they had the day off or maybe it was a designed hate watch. But Lyles didn't give him any ammo. He took home the gold.
Yeah, well said, Kenny. You track Kenny. I'm just making this a bit.
It wasn't even just them. Everyone thought he finished second. Everyone thought Thompson ran away with that. He had it. You can watch the video of it, the clip, and the announcers are going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like they just are so convinced it was Thompson that won it. I mean, I would have been too. It's a very photo finish. It's exactly what it is. But congrats to him. I always like it when he kind of backs up what he says. And he's the world's fastest man.
As much of a debate as that comment was, Noah Lyles seems like a cool guy. I kind of like whenever I see him, he always has like a good energy about him. I just enjoy like watching him in pressers and stuff. So yeah, congrats to him. Hey, another medal for the U.S. I don't think we can complain. So now it's the basketball team's turn. Now they definitely can't get silver because then Noah Lyles will have the last lap. Yeah, congrats to him. That was a crazy race. Rewatching it was so wild. Thank goodness for photo finishes. All right. My headline this week comes in the form of a message board post. We love a good message board genius post here on this podcast. The title, or headline, if you will, says "Misery is Oklahoma's rented mule," and then it goes on to detail why Oklahoma is just always wins at Columbia and all this thing, and only refers to Mizzou as misery, spelled Misery. Which just was making me chuckle throughout the whole thread. We'll see you in October, Oklahoma.
It's November.
That's all. Shit. We'll see you in November, Oklahoma. That's all I really got.
November 9th, man. I don't know if any either fan base is going to admit it, but like that is 100% the game that matters to pretty much everyone in each fan base the most this year. I think Oklahoma, it shouldn't be the case for them, but I think the smack talk has gotten to them so much with Nwaneri. The Lamont Rogers thing kicked it back up. Dominic Williams, rather, in the portal.
Demonic Williams.
Demonic Williams. It's spelled like Damonic. So it's been a very good Twitter rivalry. We'll see how much that translates. I mean, of course, Mizzou, as expected, if there was no Twitter beef or whatever between the fan bases, they sold that Oklahoma game out in minutes within tickets going on sale. That's another thing we should mention real quick. The Boston College, homecoming, and Oklahoma games are already sold out. You have to go to the secondary market already for tickets to those. But yeah, it's going to probably define each team's season in some form or fashion.
Yeah, keep comparing to games that happened nearly 2 decades ago. That's the things that it just never makes sense comparing those. The teams on both sides, the atmospheres, everything is completely different than it was in 2007.
Yeah, I get appreciating the history, but it's like, like Payton said, with this game specifically, it's huge for both teams for kind of different reasons. And the reasons for Mizzou are bigger than those for Oklahoma. So, should we look at the comments? It looks like I see at least 3 Mizzou posts in the comments.
Yeah. I mean, that's what Missouri fans, for better or for worse, Missouri fans have talked a big game on Twitter. There's no doubt about that. If this season goes by the wayside, it is going to get ugly. That's for sure. But boom or bust on Mizzou Twitter. That's for sure.
We shall see. All right. There you go. Oh, no, wait, sorry. We have a community note of the week. Not a joke. Or we might have a joke. I don't know. I'll let Payton refer to that. Kenny, you want to read the community note of the week?
Yeah, community note of the week goes to the ACC. Katie Ledecky, who swam at Stanford when it was a part of the Pac-12, got a shout out from the ACC, which is the conference Stanford joined this summer. Just had 4th straight gold in the 800 free, and the ACC has been really good about posting about every Olympian with any tie to a school that's in the ACC. But it did get community noted saying Katie Ledecky won 2 of these gold medals and other Olympic gold medals before ever swimming at Stanford. Also, Stanford wasn't in the ACC when she did later attend. So there's a knock on that because she was a teenage swimmer before she got to Stanford, but also just it's just pretty funny all the way around.
I will say, I mean, does that really mean, I don't know if that warrants a community note. If a team leaves its conference, does it lose its championships?
I think I support it more from the fact that 2 of those medals were not when she.
That's a different thing, yes. But like the 2.
Well, that's a part of the community note.
Right. Yes, that part of the community note I won't debate. Yeah. But one about I'm saying that's why Stanford not being in the ACC. I don't know if that matters. I think
people just care because it's just a year. It's been a year. I think that's why it's just probably a little bit fresh and different for people because I feel like it's a couple of years down the line, no one would care like at all. Like
right.
Mizzou has a lot of history in the Big 12, but it's all just SEC now.
Yeah, I think it's people clinging on to their last fleeting memories of the Big 12 or Pac-12, excuse me.
They killed the Pac-12, Stanford alone.
Yeah. Katie Ledecky.
I don't know. I won't debate the ones about her not getting like the ones from high school, but I think the one about Stanford not being in the ACC, I think that's irrelevant.
Yeah. Katie Ledecky also insane. The one photo of her where she's winning the 1500 swimming and there's just no one else in the picture.
It's like a different sport for her.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It should not be that. Like, it's unfair. Like, imagine being the other swimmers that you train probably to just like obsessive amounts to get smoked that badly.
Yeah. Her and Michael Phelps have like ruined swimming for me because I just am like everyone else I watch, I'm like, even though because it's not just like a godly performance. I don't know. But yeah, shout out to her. I don't know. What if she was a former future Missouri Tiger? Think Mizzou swimming reached out? Probably not. Not a swim and dive school, unfortunately.
Michael Phelps swam in Mizzou's rec center pool. They have like a whole thing about that.
That's true. Yep.
Fastest water in the Midwest.
I should have put that.
Fastest water. That's right.
Yeah, that's what they said. I should have put that him on my big board just for that alone. Just because
I don't think that would.
Does that count as an official visit? Even though he was probably not in college.
Post
anymore.
college.
Yeah, he's definitely not in college anymore. There you go. All right, that's all I got, Payton.
All right, I'm gonna go to our favorite TV series, The Today Show, but I'm gonna alter this joke a little bit because I don't think it makes as much sense.
I was hoping you were gonna say I'm going to our favorite series of the Today Show, and I don't have a joke, and you were gonna break like a really serious like news story and just make us talk about it.
No, this is all the Today Show does. So the original joke is why shouldn't you play poker in the jungle? But the punchline doesn't match up with jungles. I'm gonna be a lame like stickler for this. So I'm gonna change it to guys. Why shouldn't you play poker in the Sahara Desert? Or not the desert, just the Sahara.
Does desert mean anything to this joke?
No, it doesn't.
The word Sahara does?
What are some terms in poker, Jack?
Well, there's the terms for your hands. So there's like a straight, a flush, a royal flush.
You guys are getting closer.
Two of a kind.
I'm lying.
Oh,
you guys
because
are
there's no river. Because there's no river.
Nope.
Oh, the river is like a term in poker too.
It's an animal that lives in the Sahara.
Camel.
Nope, like the grasslands of the Sahara. Like
Can you
not
just
the
tell
desert.
us?
A lion, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, sure. Why shouldn't you play poker in the Sahara? There's too many cheetahs.
Oh my god. Why doesn't that apply to jungle?
No, cheetahs don't live in the jungle. They live in the Sahara grasslands.
Okay.
You never been to a zoo?
No, never.
Go to a zoo.
Zoos don't have grasslands. They're all in a cage in the zoo. So
You've never been to the Kansas City Zoo and it shows.
All right. That's it.
There's a big grassland prairie that you can
enjoy
take
your
a
week
ski over.
We'll see you Friday. Probably gonna have a big interview. So
and they have cheetahs in them.
For that, Payton's not allowed to tell jokes for another 2
Rhinos
shows.
as well.
He's got a 2-show ban. All right, goodbye.